Welcome to Detroit. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. You can drown them. And that's what we gotta be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Takes the snap, turns, gives to Montgomery, right side, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike. And as always, we're diving on in. Folks, from time to time, it feels like we have to have a conversation like this. It feels like we have to have what my parents would call it, and I'm sure other parents have called it, a come to Jesus meeting of sorts. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I am so damn tired of this crap that I've had to witness when it comes to social media, when it comes to Facebook, when it comes to Twitter, sometimes even in my own comment section. But I've witnessed it, I've seen it. Sometimes I have decided to respond to it. Sometimes I've decided to leave it well enough alone. But at this point, I've gotten to a point where I simply just am like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with how people just will not give the Lions the credit that they've earned. And I'm so tired of how there are people that rather than actually acknowledging what the Lions have done, actually, taking the time to step back and just letting the first inclination that hits their brain come out, rather than actually sitting back and, actually doing a serious amount of, contemplating and thinking that actually is more than just the first thought that enters one's brain. I'm just done with it. Now, what exactly am I referring to here? What I'm referring to is kind of like what my title states. Speechless from galling attitude of outsiders. Now, I'm going to say this. Do the Detroit Lions really give a thunder what most people outside of their organization have to say about them? No. They probably couldn't care less. Because in their eyes, they don't know jack crap anyway. It's kind of hard to talk about something when you're not in the building. It's hard to talk about something with any sense of knowledge if you don't even have the slightest inclination as to what the team is doing. But yet that's what we find ourselves with some of these fans. Anti-fans is more what I'd like to call them. What you deal with the media, and what you deal with some of these media personalities that are more than just the local stuff, or, more than the big brand ones. I'm talking about the NFL. And what I'm talking about is how there are people who, rather than just simply stepping back and acknowledging or taking a look at the actual picture, they are more wanting to reach for the lowest hanging fruit that is possible to get their hands on, rather than saying, okay, there's more to this than just, hey, you know what, this is the initial concept that's available, that's what we're going with. Let's talk about it. And pardon me if my passions get riled up here, but like I said, I'm done with this. I seriously am. Let's talk about the fans. I love Lions fans, I really do. I love their passion. I love their commitment. I love the fact that, despite all the stuff that's happened over the years, they've remained for the most part pretty steadfast and loyal. But there are some Lions fans where I just step back and I'm like, I don't understand how you can have this thought process. I can't understand how, after everything that the Lions have done, after everything that Holmes and Campbell have done, that you still cannot have more faith and trust in what's going on. What I'm referring to here is I have tried my absolute best to give the image, to present the concept that the Lions are about to just absolutely, explode onto the scene, and they're just going to kick ass and take names this upcoming season, because that's what I truly believe is going to be the case. They are way too damn talented on both sides of the ball for me to think otherwise. But yet, despite a lot of people recognizing how talented they are, oh my good Lord, the first thing that ever comes out of the mouth of most people that want to, start having these conversations is, oh, well, that's all great, grand, and glorious. That's fine that they've got all this talent. But it doesn't mean a jack little bit of anything if they can't stay healthy. Which, you know what? Yeah, that's true. If they can't stay healthy, it's going to be a lot harder. But it's not impossible. There are so many Lions fans that I have talked to that they are more afraid of injuries than anything else in the entirety of this upcoming season. That is what they are just absolutely to their core scared of, is afraid of injuries. They doubt that the team can hold up. They doubt that, oh, you know what? Because of all these joint practices that we're hearing about, or all because of this, that, or the other thing, we don't think that the Lions can stay healthy enough to be able to get where we want to go. Really? Seriously, really? That's what you think? Let me just remind y'all something here. This is the same team that last year had how many freaking starters on the freaking IR report, and yet we still went 15-2 last year. So you're wanting to tell me that you're afraid of injuries, even though we've dealt with injuries in the past. You're afraid that this team can hold up, can be successful, can win in spite of hardship, even though that's been pretty much exactly what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have proven since they've been in charge of the Lions. Because think about it, it's not just injuries that we've had to deal with. We've dealt with other hardships. We've dealt with the fact that, you know what, maybe we don't have all the talent in the world. Or maybe, you know what, we've had to deal with the refs not being on our side. Or some other nonsensical bull crap. But yet, there are people out there that are so damn afraid, they are so damn just scared of the Lions' ability to hold up and do what they need to do that they won't consider anything else. Oh, it's all about health. It's all about health. Well, no absolute dip, Sherlock. It is about health. But the point of the matter is that injuries are a part of the game. They're going to happen regardless of what you do. Hell, there are people that get injured in the football in the NFL, and they don't even have a snap of football. Some of them get injured in warm-ups, for crying out loud. What are we going to start doing? Not have warm-ups and just, hey, you know what? Let's go out on the field and just play a sport. Let's just play the game. It's going to happen. You can't prevent it. You can try your best to mitigate it, to handle it, but you sure as hell can't prevent it. Then you have other fans that have this absolutely just annoying view of continued disgruntlement about the damn edge position. I'm sick and tired of this. I don't know how many times I've had to hear, oh, well, you know, the Lions could still potentially trade for Trey Hendrickson. They're not trading for Trey Hendrickson. Anybody that wants to keep presenting that idea wants clickbait. They want quick views. They're just trying to get people to view something and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we can just hold on to this slight sliver of hope that the Lions are going to bring in Trey Hendrickson. It's like, dude, it's not going to happen. Quit dreaming. Quit thinking it's going to happen. If the Lions are going to bring in any edge, it ain't going to be Trey Hendrickson. It's going to be Zadarius Smith. He was with the team last year. They still stated that they would like to bring him back. I don't know if they are going to bring him back, but if they are, chances are it's going to be probably sometime soon. But if you're going to talk about an edge, stop talking about Trey Hendrickson. Stop talking about these pie-in-the-sky trade scenarios, because it ain't going to happen. The only edge that the Lions are probably going to consider bringing in is Zadarius Smith. And honestly, why would you bring him in at this point when, oh, that's right, you still have Davenport, Hutch just came back, you drafted Ahmed Hazanin, you've got guys at your edge, you've got guys at your edge position. If you bring in yet another person, that's great, got no problem with that. But there's not this just all-fired, gotta-fill need like some people are trying to make it out to be. It's not the case. Anybody that wants to try and say otherwise is trying to sell you a bill of goods, and I refuse to do that. And then there are other people. They're like, man, I don't know. I just ain't buying into this team's future. I'm just not buying into this team's plan that they're going to be able to do what they need to do. Seriously? How much more damn evidence do you need to buy into the fact that this team knows what the hell they're doing? Like, seriously, how much more damn evidence do you possibly need? Team goes from 3-13-1 to 9-8 to 12-5 to 15-2. How much more damn evidence do you possibly freaking need? And then that plays into the last part about the lack of patience for the Lions process. I get it. I've heard this so many times. I've been a fan since I was, freaking in the 1960s, and I've been waiting for 30, 40, 50 years. I understand, folks. Patience is something that's in very short supply when it comes to some Lions fans. But you know what? Rome was not built in a day. And you can't say, oh, well, I've been waiting 30, 40, 50 years, whatever the case might be. I expect that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they need to deliver it now. That's not how the world works. When, in the entire time of human history, has anybody said, hey, you need to do something right now, and somebody just absolutely just drops ship for everything that they're doing and just delivers right now? Almost never. And it sure as hell's never happened in the NFL. It just doesn't happen. It takes time. It takes planning. It takes preparation. It takes freaking patience. So yeah, I'm sorry if you've been waiting 30, 40, 50 years, and you know what? That might peeve you off. But you can't expect that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to take a dumpster fire that they inherited from Quinn Trisha, and literally they're going to all of a sudden make it into a freaking, just silk purse. It takes time. It takes preparation. It takes work. That's what the Lions have been doing. And you know what? I understand you might have wanted a Super Bowl last year or the year before that. But again, just because you want something doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to drop right in your lap. This idea of self-entitlement or, instant gratification has become such a toxin, has become such a poison in our society. It's like, listen, that's not the way the world works. Anybody that tries to say that is a liar. You have to work for things. So that's the fans. And again, I love the fans, but my God, sometimes just after a while, I just get to a point where I'm just like, dude, I can't take no more. Now we talk about the media. Let's talk about the local media. Let's talk about the national media. Let's talk about people who all they seem to do is lead fans astray. Constantly planting seeds of doubt. Constantly wanting to push out content saying, oh, you know what? I just don't think the Lions can do this. I don't think the Lions can do that. Do they work for the Lions? I mean, last time I checked, I don't know too many of the actual people that work for the Lions that make content. I know Tim Twentyman does it, but I don't think I've ever heard Tim Twentyman say, oh, I don't think the Lions can do something. Granted, that'd be contrary to his position with the team, but the whole point of the matter is that you have all these people that want to constantly place these seeds of doubt and make people want to question what the Lions are doing, and it's like, dude, stop listening to them. All they're doing is fanning the flames of discontentment for the current state of things. And it's like, you're the ones that are feeding it. And then think about this. When people start running out of things to talk about, all they do is become the unoriginal cast and crew. Because what do? They constantly rehash the same tired old narratives, and it gets old really damn fast. It's this lack of ability to think in depth, to think of something new by constantly having these lazy analytical topics to attack the shortcomings of the Lions, of which there are very few, versus the numerous many achievements of which they've had under Holmes and Campbell. And then on top of that, you have people that want to take these cheap shots and takes over the decisions that the Lions have done, looking for any fault they can possibly get their hands on. Because, hey, you know what? It's easier to point the finger at somebody rather than saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I should think about something else here, rather than going for the lowest, cheapest hanging fruit that I can get my hands on. Absolutely disgusts me that there are people out there that, rather than doing the hard work, the actual hard freaking creative process of coming up with original content, they would just rather rehash the same old tired narratives and just be like, hey, you know what? It's worked before. We'll just do it again. Sorry. Refuse to do that. And then we get to the NFL itself. Oh my Lord, Atlanta. The sheer amount of contempt that some people in the NFL have for the Lions about how, oh, you know what? We just don't think they're going to be able to maintain the success they've had over the last couple of years. 15-2, there's no way they can do that again. They'll be lucky if they win 10, 11 games. Who are you trying to kid? Who are you trying to freaking fool here? This is the same group of jokesters that said the Lions were going to freaking fire Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes because, oh, that's right, they ain't going to figure it out either. It's going to be another wash, rinse, repeat all over again. Oh, Jared Goff, he can't be a franchise quarterback. He's nothing without Sean McVay. I mean, just by my reckoning, there's been quite a number of things that they've stated over the last couple of years that have been proven to be epically false. And then, if not for the contempt that these people have for the Lions, then there's the sheer damn arrogance. Oh my God, the arrogance is just absolutely unbelievable. People thinking that, oh, you know what? We don't think the Lions are going to be successful this year because both of their coordinators are gone. Ben Johnson's gone, Aaron Glenn's gone, as if somehow Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were the reason why the Lions were successful. I mean, for crying out loud, we only still have Dan Campbell. We only still have all the other coaches that were underneath him, that worked underneath Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. A lot of them are still here. We only have 95% of the same damn offense that Ben Johnson used. We only have about 90% of the same damn defense that we had last year. But you know what? It's all about those two individuals. It's all about Ben Johnson and it's all about Aaron Glenn. They can't possibly be as successful as they were last year without those two. Again, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to kid? Are you so damn arrogant, NFL, that you think that without those two guys, we're just going to have an epic collapse of just untold proportions? I'm sorry. No. That's not how it works. Again, much like everybody else, you are trying to find what is easy enough to push out so that way you can say, well, it's news, it's opinionated news, but it's news. We're just going to push it out and we'll see how many people we can get to click. You know what I'm hearing from a lot of all this? There's a lot of damn thinking, but there's not a whole lot of stating to the facts. There's not a whole lot of stating to what we know. Let me tell you what I know. Let me tell you what the reality is. Let me tell you what the facts are. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I've said this before more times than I care to recollect. Facts, they don't give a damn about your opinions. They don't give a damn about your feelings. Because the facts, they do not change. Here's what the facts are. Number one, the Lions have been one of the most successful teams the last few years. I mean, when you go 15-2 and 12-5, you only lose 7 games over the last 2 years versus, 27 wins. You be pretty damn successful. And not only have they been one of the most successful teams over the last couple of years, they've continued to add to that team. I mean, let's just think about it here. The Lions have a top 5 quarterback in Jared Goff. They have a top 5 running back in Jahmyr Gibbs, a top 5 wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown, top 5 tight end in Sam Laporta, top 5 edge rusher in Aiden Hutchinson, top 5 team overall, top 5 fan base or home field advantage at Ford Field, top 5 head coach, top 5 GM. I mean, it's just fives all over the place. And then let's go even a step further than that. We have a top 10 offensive line. We have a top 10 defense. Statistically proved that last year. We have 2 top 10, top 20 linebackers. We have a top 10 defensive secondary with, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, DJ Reed, and all the rest of them. We have a top 10 special teams unit. Plus, on top of that, we have the best offense in football. Statistics proved that last year. So, wait a minute here. I just went down every stinking fact that you cannot disprove because those are the facts. They don't change. And yet, you have people who think they know more than the facts. They want to say that the Lions can't do something when, let me remind you here because this is a fact, under Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, what have they done? Oh, that's right. They have done the exact same thing year after year after year after year of disproving the doubters, the haters, and just the absolute idiots who open their mouth thinking that they somehow know more. Oh, the Lions, they're not going to be able to beat the spread. 2021 and 2022, we kept freaking stealing money out of Vegas's pocket like it was nobody's business. Oh, 2023, the Lions, they're not going to get anywhere. They might win a playoff game, but they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. Only got to the NFC Conference Championship game. We're a whisker away from the damn Super Bowl. 2024, oh, the Lions, they have too many injuries. They can't possibly win. They can't possibly do anything. Only went 15-2, won our division for the second straight year in a row, and got the number 1 seed. With all the injuries, mind you. So I'm going to say this right now. Do you honestly think it is a smart bet to doubt on the Lions because, we think they just can't do this? Let me tell you something. For every time that somebody has thought they can't do something, the NFL, the media, sometimes even our own fans, it's kind of funny how the Lions have held up their own paws and given the proverbial bird to that thought process and said, oh, you think we can't do something? Screw you and your absolutely misinformed opinion. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. It is not a smart bet to bet against the Lions. No way in heaven or hell on God's green earth is it a smart bet to bet against them. And if you want to keep going and thinking that process, by all means, you're entitled to. But let me tell you something. If you were an actual betting individual and you were putting your own money down on it, there's a saying in the NFL, and it's actually a saying in all reality, but I'm just going to keep it in the NFL because now that there's gambling there, a fool and his money is soon parted with. Just saying it for what it is, folks. But again, that's why I'm saying, the more you want to doubt the Lions, the more they're just going to sit back and they're just going to be like, okay, we hear what you're saying. We ain't going to say a word. We're going to let our actions do the talking. And let me tell you something. The Lions' actions have spoken volumes. Say what you will, but the facts be the facts. Having said that, I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching in another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, highly encourage you all to watch the next episode. Also encourage you all to do one of these 3 things, like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, I want to highly encourage you all, please make sure you hit that bell notification icon so you guys never miss any more content that I push out. Also want to encourage you all to share the content, share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. And with that, hopefully this content was able to give you guys a different perspective. Hopefully it was able to, maybe get people to think things a little bit differently. It's what I try to do with every piece of content that I push out. I also hope that you all have something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. God bless, my friends. Until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.